What a night in Prospect in Gothenburg, Sweden, where Chelsea's women takes the field for their first Champions League final. Standing between them and the trophy, Spanish champions Barcelona. The quadruple dream is still alive. Kickoff is in just over an hour from now on the biggest stage and the biggest night in club football.
You want more? Go get it. It's possible. Remember, what comes easy won't last.
What lasts won't come easy.
So don't go easy.
Meet every challenge like a champion. Find your feet, get up and tell yourself that failure is only a part of the journey.
Deliver disappointment to the doubters. Watch history's winners and think, no, you could do that. It just takes time.
And pride.
Even at the European final, as history makers, we will still learn. Look forwards, progressing, building, getting stronger.
Wanting more.
More nights in Paris, Germany. More leaders, influencers, game changers.
Changing the game together.
Every cheer, post, every like, every story.
Chelsea are going to the Champions League final.
Our fans, our followers, our Chelsea women. So this is for everyone. Let's give it everything. Win or lose. That's what makes us the pride of London.
Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge, home of the Blues. Now this evening, Emma Hayes and her squad of players looking to do something they have not done before. Now the task ahead of them is a tough one. Spanish champions Barcelona, they are both appearing in the European final. A second time for Barcelona, a first time for Chelsea, and the Blues very much up for the task ahead. Now we're going to be joined by the great and good over the course of our build-up to kick-off, which is 8 o'clock UK time. And I'm very happy to say that joining me, and we've been allowed to step outside of our virtual bubble, pitch side, Anita Asante, former Chelsea defender. Firstly, it's so nice to actually be standing next to someone.
Well, I'm really glad to be here, so thank you for having me, and just excited to talk about the game.
And I was apologising about the weather, but from someone who lived in Gothenburg for a couple of years, you say we're actually getting into the spirit and the feel of what it probably is like over there.
I mean, it's like we're almost there. You know, Gothenburg is called Little London, so we're getting exactly the kind of weather we can expect.
Now, for someone who was part of Arsenal's quadruple winning squad, you played every minute of the European final in 2007. Now, back then, it was played out over the two legs. What are these Chelsea players going to be going through? What emotions are they going to be experiencing in this hour or so before kick-off?
I think these Chelsea girls are going to be feeling a roller coaster of emotions right now. A bit of nerves, a bit of anticipation, and excitement. You know, I'm sure they're just, wanting to get out on the pitch and kick off. But ultimately, it's a massive opportunity for them, and, they'll be raring to go.
And you've got two sides who have not lifted this trophy before. As I mentioned, Barcelona, it's a second final for them, and it's a first time for Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity, like we say, for both sides to really get something from this competition. But I think we've seen how dominating Chelsea have been all season. They should feel quite confident, and hopefully they'll display that in the performance tonight.
Being part of that Arsenal squad, going for the quadruple, how much pressure did you feel or not? Because Sam Kerr has said it's like every match is a cup final. You cannot lose anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's all or nothing, isn't it? It's a final. You got to leave every single thing on the pitch and have no regrets. When I played back at Arsenal, we kind of were the underdog, so we could kind of go in with a little less trepidation and fear, because we just were like, we've got to go out there and upset them, because they're expected to win. But, Chelsea have been, like I said, so much depth within this squad. They're going to feel like, they could challenge anyone.
It's the confidence and it's the belief. It's not just Emma Hayes who is saying that. We're seeing it in the performances. We're hearing it from the players. These are a bunch of players who are playing for each other. They are playing very much as a team.
The togetherness is what it's all about at this stage, and they've shown out throughout the season that they have that togetherness, even with some changes here and there in terms of the lineup. And it's going to be an important factor tonight, because they'll be trying to work out Barca and how they play, and they're going to need to stick together and find ways to nullify their threats as well.
Oh, cannot wait for this match this evening. Chelsea against Barcelona, taking place in Gothenburg in Sweden. Now, I mentioned that a number of people are going to be joining us over the course of our preview. I'm very happy to say that here with us in Stamford Bridge is broadcaster and Matchday Live regular Abby McCarthy, a massive Chelsea fan. So the first question, Abby, has to be, how are you feeling?
Gigi, I'm feeling nervous. The nerves are definitely creeping in. I shouldn't be nervous though, right? We're in fierce form at the moment and I do believe in us tonight. But it's fair to say the Chelsea community are very excited all around the world. I'm going to shout a few of those people out now. Nimi Matthew said, so proud and really positive about this squad. I know victory is certain. Come on, you Blues. See, that's the kind of energy we need right now. A young FX22 saying, come on, you Blues, bring the trophy home. Nafimi Alabi saying, let's make history. How exciting to win our first Champions League title tonight. That is what is at stake. Bedford Blues, I cannot believe we are actually playing in a final. Good luck, everybody. Pete Dale saying, this is it, Chelsea women. You've already made it my favourite season of almost 80 years. Now for the big one. Enjoy. So much support coming in. Carefree Tom also getting involved. Good luck. You can do it. Let's turn this double into a treble and then maybe even a quadruple. Am I getting ahead of myself? I'm not sure. The Ido fellow saying, welcome to Sweden. Feel free to take some silverware with you back home. Thank you so much for all of your messages so far. This show is for you, the fans, so make sure you are heard. You can tweet us at Chelsea FCW and I'll be shouting you all out tonight. Back to you, Gigi.
Abby, thank you very much. We're back with Abby throughout the course of the preview. Now, there's no better way to prepare yourself for a final like this than to win your previous game. And it wasn't just a win, it was to clinch the WSL title, back-to-back titles. And boy, did they do it in style against Reading.
Well, you know, we expect this from this Chelsea side, just pure domination, and you know, they're just ruthless in front of goal, and they've shown how clinical they can be, and that's what we're hoping to see more of today. But winning a league title, that's a massive achievement, and that will just, you know, leapfrog them into this competition feeling confident.
They've set the bar so high for themselves, as you started by saying that, but that's what we expect of this Chelsea side these days.
Yeah, and when you're the best, you know, or you're performing at your best, that's you know, the kind of expectations they have for each other, you know, and you can tell from the press conferences they're super focused and they know just how much this means to them and to the club.
Wonderful scenes, but they couldn't celebrate for too long because of this evening's match.
Well, yeah, you know, the whole point is they get to this stage, which they have. They got to a final, and if they can win the trophy, then, I mean, what a great celebration it would be at the end of it anyway.
Yeah, look, it's the perfect way to prepare themselves for what they've got to go through this season. They have been winning all season. That 5-0 victory, the perfect springboard to take them into Gothenburg in this final.
Yeah, because it just allows them to have that consistency, that free-flowing football that they've been showing all season, and they'll feel like, you know, we know exactly how to play together. We just, you know, need to relax and go into approach the game like any other game.
Because we've got Barcelona, they wrapped up their league with 8 games to spare, so we've got the British champions, English champions going in against the Spanish ones.
Yeah, and it's going to be fascinating to see how both attacking lineups shape up, and, you know, how they keep throwing questions, asking questions of each other to open up the game. And yeah, I just can't wait.
We're going to have the team news for you very shortly coming to us from Gothenburg in Sweden. Now, I mentioned we're going to hear from lots of different people as we build up to kick off at 8 o'clock. So let's head to Sweden now. And I'm very happy to say that Lee Parker, who's on the ground for us there, is joined by 2 very special guests.
Here we are outside the Gamla Alevi Stadium here in Gothenburg. Kickoff is fast approaching. I'm joined by these 2 Chelsea legends. Casey, I'm going to start with you. How are the pre-match nerves?
I'm excited for the game. I think a little bit nervous, but, you know, this is what we've worked hard for to get to this point, so it's going to be hopefully a great game.
How about you, Raph? How are you feeling?
My palms are a little sweaty, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, going down to breakfast this morning, the vibe was positive. They're all kind of quite boisterous, as they are, lots of personality. So I think, yeah, I'm getting the sense of then I'm going to calm my nerves down.
Yeah, boisterous, but also very calm and confident, it feels at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a successful season, haven't they? They come off the back of obviously winning the league as well, and, you know, what a great team they've got right now and a great squad of players. So I think, you know, confidence is going to be high within this, and also a bit of nerves coming with that, because it's a massive game, but it's a final that, you know, every female team wants to be in. So for Chelsea to be here and show the success off the back of the season and to be in the Champions League final, you know, they're not going to take that for granted.
Raph, we were talking off camera, weren't we, about this 9-year journey. You've come so far, so close in previous seasons. It's, I guess psychologically, to get one step further is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and, you know, I think the time is right. Everything seems to be fitting into place. The journey has been incredible, as me, Kate, have seen, you've seen over the time. You know, the players that they have, the quality, the depth, and you know what? They deserve it. It's all about the cultural success that Emma's kind of embedded in this team, and the time's right for us.
2 good teams. How good are Barcelona, do you think?
I think attacking-wise, they're fantastic. They, you know, on the counter, they're very clinical. Nothing that we can't deal with. We've got some amazing defensive players, but also, you know, we've got Sam Kerr and Frank Kirby. arguably the two best players in the world right now. So I'm going to give us the heads up over them for sure.
It's a very good point. I mean, how much do you look at the opposition at this stage, or how much do you want to focus on your job and your job in hand?
I think as a player, you obviously focus on your job, you control your nerves and that sort of side of it. I'm sure that Emma's given them every single detail tactically and everything they need going into the game. And then, for her, it's for her then to hand over to the players to do their job that they've been given. And, who wouldn't want to play in this game, and you want to perform and you want to win and get your hands on the trophy, so I'm sure we'll be all right.
You've of course played in this showpiece before a few years ago, not long ago. How do you prepare? How do you psychologically get yourself ready for a game like this?
Do you know what? I love the big games. I love winning trophies, I think, and for me, I get nerves, but I know if I can control my nerves, so when I get a little bit nervous, I know I'm going to have a good game. So I'm sure there is some nerves within the camp, but I'm sure there's obviously some confidence as well, because, you'd want to be playing.
Absolutely. I mean, we touched on it earlier. We were talking to some of the players after the Reading game last weekend. It feels like this is a group of serial winners now. They are used to winning the big trophies.
Yeah, it's that experience that brings that calmness on the occasions. Actually, the belief that the players, the ability of these players to turn a game around in a second. So I'm expecting massive things if she starts today. I just think it is that belief, right? And as you were saying, Kate came to Chelsea because she was a winner, and that was the beginning of breeding that into the team. And I think you thrive off each other.
I think it's the leadership as well.
Exactly.
I think they've got a lot of leaders within that team, a lot of experience, players that have played in big games, in different cultures, different countries, and they've all come together. And I think it's just evident of the success this season.
So then, finally, girls, in a word, going to win it?
Of course.
Come on, Chelsea. Come on.
There you go.
Started with sweaty palms, but at the end we got a little bit of a cheer there from Katie and Claire. We got shots of the players as they came out onto. We should say that they arrived in Sweden early evening on Friday, went straight to the team hotel, and then they got to get out onto the pitch, and that's very, very important, isn't it? Get out to where you are, just have a bit of time in the venue.
Yeah, and just try to feel, what it might feel like once they kick off, and soak in the sort of arena, and take in the grass, because deciding what footwear is quite important, especially in a major game, making sure you're prepared for everything.
Yeah, it's all those little things that the players have to think about. And Claire talking about the experience in the team, and we were saying there that I'm sure on Barcelona TV they're having a similar conversation, that the Chelsea squad is full of players who won World Cups, European finals, Olympic medals. There is experience just coursing through this Chelsea squad.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's why both sides have reached the final. They've got players that are used to big pressure games and playing at the highest level. And Chelsea, like you said, a number of players have experience playing for their national teams at World Cups and European Championships, and they're going to apply those experiences to a European final tonight.
And you know why people are talking about Fran Kirby, who was recently voted the Football Writers Player of the Year, Player of the Season for a second time in her career, and Sam Kerr, who recently took the Golden Boot. But you can go through the team. You can go through the back and Berger and goal. You can go right through the spine and through the front and pick out the players that make this Chelsea team tick.
I mean, what a luxury it is to have, right? I mean, any manager would want to manage a squad, full of so much talent. And you mentioned from back to front, you've got the likes of Anne-Katrin Berger, who's made some fantastic saves to even get them to this stage, and Fran Kirby and Sam Kerr, who are just clinical in front of goal.
And there's the woman in charge, Emma Hayes, who said that this is the culmination of a 9-year journey. This is what she's been aiming for, and this is the night.
She looks quite relaxed as well, she's got a smile on her face, and that's good. And yeah, like you say, it's been a 9-year project in the works, and I'm sure she's immensely proud of the squad and what they've achieved domestically, and they just want to go that one step further.
Big job of the manager to keep these players relaxed. As experienced as they are, there will be nerves. You're only human, you have nerves. So it's a really important job for Emma Hayes to keep this team relaxed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she will be thinking about, just continuing the normal routines that they have, applying themselves the same way they would to any game, not changing too many things, because we are creatures of habit as players, and I think a lot of the players probably are too.
Yeah. Shots of Emma Hayes, who, did you know she visited a psychic early on in her career that told her she'd have the most success in her career with Chelsea, and that's when Chelsea were an amateur team.
Well, I read that and I was like, wow, that's fascinating. Did not expect to hear something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a revelation that's basically come true.
It's incredible.
I'd be going back to see that psychic.
I think we'll need to book an appointment with a psychic to find out what the future holds. But it's the belief that she has had in this group of players, and it's also the belief that Chelsea Football Club have had in Emma Hayes and the team, because each year they've added to the team. whatever position, the experience, the backroom staff, it's been a project that everybody has been involved in.
And that's what you want, everyone buying into this project, everyone supporting it, wanting this side to win. And you're seeing it in terms of the recruitment, like you say, the resources around the teams, in terms of the staff and the expertise. It all matters because it's about those fine margins, especially at this level when you're meeting other good opposition that can get you over the edge and win you titles.
I mean, it's very much a team game. There are individual sports out there, but with football, it is everybody that is playing their part that has got them to this stage tonight, the Champions League final.
Absolutely, and it might be that last-ditch tackle as well as scoring goals that keeps you in the competition for as long as you can to win. So every single player will matter, and you can never account for what may happen in a game. So the squad becomes just as important, and those finishers off the bench, if they come on, they'll make a massive difference too.
Wonderful for Emma Hayes to say that Maren Melde, who has been the long-term absentee with a knee, is the only person that she doesn't have available. I mean, going into a match of this size, to know that you've got your full squad, and Chelsea have got a very healthy squad in terms of strength and depth, that you could, yes, there's the thought process, and we've got the team news coming up very soon, that you stick with those who've played the most recent match that have got you the results, but to know that you've got the options.
I mean, that's fantastic, and like I said before, what a luxury to have a fully healthy squad. And I think that will be the difference actually between Chelsea and Barca. Is I do believe there is slightly more depth in this Chelsea side, so if they need to adapt and tinker and make some changes, those players coming off the bench will have a massive impact.
Because as we've been talking, and before the show started, we were talking about Barcelona, so many similarities within these two teams in terms of their records within the league, the fact they've taken the title, the goal scoring, the keeping the clean sheets. There's so many similarities between these two sides.
And that's why it's going to be so fascinating to see just exactly how they're able to, capitalise on their strengths as well as, nullify the opposition and really make the most of this game. But this is what you want in a final. You want two teams that are going to just go at it and ask questions of each other.
And do you think they will go at it from the start, or are we going to get a cagey beginning? How do you think this will play out?
I think it actually might start off quite cagey because I think the team will want to get a feel for, how Barca are lined up, what they're trying to do in terms of possession and how they might shape up off the ball before we really see them, open up the game.
It's a fascinating prospect, these two sides coming together, and we're going to look at them a little bit more in depth later, but two names we know are going to be inked into that team sheet are Fran Kirby and Sam Kerr. Just incredible, the partnership. As a defender, I'm sure an absolute nightmare. But in terms of the partnership that they have and the goals they're scoring, an absolute dream.
Yeah, I mean, they've displayed it, their partnership all season long. It's like telepathy, one's coming in short for the ball and finding Sam in behind or vice versa, and they're always on the move. Their movement is unbelievable. As a defender, I can attest to that. You've got to be switched on, throughout the game for 90 plus minutes when you play up against those two.
I sense your pain because with Aston Villa you faced Chelsea this season.
Yeah, and it was a tough learning curve, I think, for us as a side. But this is what we want as well as a team, to play against the best so that our young players and we can develop, going into next season. And they just keep, setting the bar really high, and everyone else is trying to reach that.
And we talk a lot about goal scorers. The goal scorers get the headlines, but you feel this evening at the back the defence is going to be so important against what has been a very free-scoring Barcelona throughout their campaign.
Absolutely, having Magda Eriksson back in and to line up as well in the last, obviously the title winning game, and with her and Millie controlling that line is going to be super important. But it also allows the attacking players to feel that they have the freedom to maybe gamble at times and get higher up the pitch because they have the confidence that they have such a solid back line, including Anne-Catherine in behind them.
Again, it comes back to these players playing together as a team for each other. It's what everyone does that has made this team so successful. They are halfway to a quadruple. Did you, when you were with Arsenal, did you feel that pressure? Was it, we could win the quadruple, we have to do this, you put pressure on yourselves, or did you literally focus on just what was in front of you?
I think, as a footballer, you're always trying to look ahead. You don't want to look in the past. You want to look to the next game and focus on that and be present. I'm sure all the players are looking at, each game the same way, because you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself and focus on things that aren't really in front of you yet. So I think all these players will just be like, we're on the right path. Let's get the job done and go again.
Again, it's that every match is a cup final, every match they play now. After this, if this can be won, it goes to the FA Cup, and every single match is just the next most important match.
Absolutely. You know, they are on the verge of history again. So every game is important, and you want to be present, you want to give your best. You can see the trust within this group and the belief. They all understand each other's roles and responsibilities. And if they're able to do that, every performance, then, you know, the result will probably likely follow.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've got team news for you very shortly, but we were just talking about Sam Kerr. Now, Sam Kerr, having conquered Australia and the US, came to Chelsea a woman on a mission. Her 21 goals in 22 league games won her the Golden Boot. Now, she's the first player to win the Golden Boot in 3 different leagues. This is why she is so vital to Chelsea and their chances of winning the quadruple. So here for you is a little bit more about the Chelsea forward.
I started playing when I was 12, but I don't really think I fell in love with the game until I was about 17, when I had made some youth teams and saw where the game could take me. I was always with the boys, so 16, 17, I think I finally started playing with girls. But I think now there's a much better path for young girls growing up, especially with how women's football is going at a professional level now. It gives the girls, you know, something to aspire to, and also allows them to kind of dream. When I was young, I didn't really have people to look up to in football. I have a lot of internationals, a lot of different cultures that come into the team. Maybe I'm being biased when I say this, but I think we have, you know, the top pick we have the best player from Denmark, we have the best players from Germany, we have the best Swedish players. So I think for us, it makes us better as a team and makes us more, I guess, diverse in a good way off the field, and then definitely on the field. If you spoke to every single person in our team, we'd all have a different story and a different reason why we play, or who we followed, or how we ended up in the sport. So I think everyone has a different path, and everyone has a different experience of how they got to Chelsea. It wasn't a surprise to me that I had to adapt my game. That's why I came here, to challenge myself, and there was a lot of learning, a lot of failing, and then a lot of succeeding. So for me, it's all about growing as a player. This last year has been really difficult. We've spent more time with each other than with our family and friends. Some of us haven't seen our families in over a year. So we've grown closer, but once we step across that white line, it's definitely competitors, and I think that's the cool thing about Chelsea, is we're such competitors, but we're also really close. The strikers have to have the most trust in all the team out of anyone, because we're the last people to get the ball. So if I don't trust in my teammates getting the ball to me or doing what they need to get the ball up the field, then it's going to be a long, long season for me. But yeah, I have complete trust in everyone in this team, and hopefully they do me, but I think we have trust in what we're trying to achieve as a team too. I think a personal highlight for me is probably the Wolfsburg game, the second game. We went out there, we didn't really play our best football in the first game, and then to come out there and have a performance like we did in the second game that no one really expected, for me it just showed how close we were as a team and how we were willing to fight and show that we're a gritty team too.
Everyone knows Sam Kerr's name around the world, and I think she has great link-up play, and she's obviously, everyone knows how quick she is, and we knew what the goal scorer she was, so she's firing on all cylinders now.
She's an unbelievable player, unbelievable person. I love and hate training against her because she exploits me, she challenges me every single day alongside all the rest of them. She's fast, she's explosive, she can hold the ball up, she's got unbelievable aerial presence, but for me it's her movement, and I don't think that's noticed enough. You know, her movement's so clever, you think you've got her and then she's on your back shoulder and the ball's in the back of the net. To have her put the goals in like she has, I'm really proud of her and really happy for her.
I mean, you have to put it at the top, the amount of quality we have, the amount of world-class players we have. It's probably the best team on paper that I've ever played for.
So from someone who's come up against Sam Kerr and recently in this season, what makes her so good?
I think the thing with Sam is that she's actually so quick. You know, she can exploit that space in behind you, and her link-up play is amazing. You know, she's willing to link up and run in behind into spaces and assist other players as well. But she's also a threat in the air because she's just so powerful.
And I think it's interesting that she said recently that everyone kept saying, yeah, you've done it in Australia, you've done it in America, but you've got to go to Europe. That is where you've got to test yourself against the very best.
Well, you know, I think Sam is a person that just loves a challenge. You can tell that from her personality. mentality, and I think that's why she's here. She wanted to play in another top side and compete for a personal goal, a collective goal, and now she's made a European final. She's doing exactly what people have asked of her.
Yeah, she certainly is, and as I mentioned, she's got the golden boot. Now the rain keeps falling. I believe we're going somewhere now where the sun is probably shining, because joining us from her home in America is former Chelsea defender Laura Bassett. Hello, Laura.
Hi, yeah, the sun is shining. Sorry to break that to you.
So jealous, because it's pouring with rain here. We're just getting a feel for what it might be like over in Gothenburg. Firstly, how are you feeling ahead of kickoff?
Oh, just listening to you both then, I'm getting a bit sweaty already. It's only 2 o'clock here. Is it too early to get on the wine? Because I'm just so excited for knowing some of these players. You want it for them so bad. And when it's out of your control, you're just a fan, I think it makes you more nervous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've heard that Claire Rafferty's got sweaty palms at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking about Sam Kerr. You had the fortune, or maybe it's a misfortune, to come up against her. How tough is she to tackle as a defender?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that Anita was saying. I played against her when I was out in Australia playing for Canberra, and I was actually playing centre midfield, and she was playing for Perth Glory. And as she ran past, the game was so transitional, and she ran past me. I had to take her down. I hacked her leg, but as soon as I hacked her, I said, "I'm so sorry," but I couldn't chase you again, because once she's gone, she's so fast, she's so direct, and we've seen how clinical and ruthless she is. So hopefully she doesn't get hurt tonight, but maybe, Barca players do that, and, I'd love for one of them to get sent off, as I'm sure we all would.
I love the honesty. I just had to take her down. I mean, that was the only way of dealing with her. But it's incredible how she's settled into Chelsea. I mean, she's done it in Australia, she's done it in the US, and now she's come over here and settled in well in her first full season, taken the golden boot. Now, we've talked about the strength and depth throughout this squad. I mean, everywhere you look, there is a strength within this Chelsea side.
There really is so much depth, so much versatility. We've seen players play different positions, the shape that Emma can tinker with, and I do think that will be needed today, because to use that versatility, to use that depth, especially in the second half, maybe when the game opens up more, maybe becomes a little bit more transitional. They certainly have the finishers to come off, the weapons that Emma can, stand back, identify, where Barca are weak, where they can attack, and what ammunitions they can use to exploit them. So it certainly will be key today.
Now, Laura, you've joined us at a perfect time, because we've got the team news that has just come through from Sweden. And to keep it short and simple, Anita, it's the same side that started the second leg against Bayern Munich in the semi-final.
Yeah, it looks like Emma's gone with continuity and a strong, core, if you like, especially through the midfield with Ji So-yeon and Lou Pols with her experience, and Sophie Ingles we know as the calm assassin, if you like, in the midfield. So, yeah, a very strong lineup to begin with.
And Laura, we're spending a lot of time talking about goal scorers, and rightly so, they are so important, but you feel this evening against a free-scoring Barcelona that the defence keeping tight is going to be just as important.
Yeah, that's right. But I've been so impressed with the whole Chelsea team defending. It's not just about the back five, Ann-Katrin Berger and Millie and Eriksson have been fantastic, but it's about the whole team defending, and that's what I think, even people like Sam Kerr, Frank Kirby, they put a huge shift in for the team, and it's going to take everyone, because sometimes they're going to spend spells without the ball, so everyone's going to be focused, concentrated on and putting a big work rate, but it's the whole team effort defensively that I've been so impressed with, and that's why they've been successful so far this season.
Now, Laura, can I ask you, you were very much a part of when Emma Hayes was here. What's it like working, training and playing under Emma Hayes? She exudes such confidence. She's an absolute pleasure to do interviews with. But what's she like when you're playing for her?
Yeah, just really approachable. She wants to listen to players. It's not just, I think, from, I played for her at 2014, so, and I'm sure she's grown and evolved even more, but just approachable, really wants to, it's not just about what she's not a coach or a manager, do it my way, do it this way, this is the only way. It's very collaborative, listening to your players and getting the best out of them that, has helped to, especially because it's multicultural now and different cultures, different players like to do it so well. So in order to get all them players going in the same direction, it's just been fabulous to watch this season.
Anita, Emma Hayes she's just an incredible character. Laura was talking about working with her there. She is someone that just exudes. You're carried along with it. If she says something, you just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I've said before, she's this very passionate person. She's a good motivator, and you know, she'll be going into this game reminding everyone just what they've achieved so far this season and what they can achieve going into this game. And you know, she's just so positive as well.
Yeah, she certainly is. She's an absolute pleasure and a dream when you interview her. Now, Abby's keeping an eye on social media. Abby, now we've got the team news. What are people saying out there?
I think it's the team a lot of people expected. There's been a really positive reaction online. CFC Ellie just saying, what a team. We've also got Erin saying the team expected. She's very happy with it. Huge lineup, Archie Lawson says. Kane Springs saying a much expected side. The only question was whether Anderson would maybe start over Carter, but nevertheless delighted. Let's go and make history. Rachel Dixon saying there's the winning formula right there. Come on girls, bring it home. Dory saying G masterclass incoming. I can feel that today. I feel like sometimes G's a bit of an underrated player, but she always keeps things ticking along in midfield. What an incredible player. CFC Imo saying the superior team. I like that. That is the positivity we need today. And Harvey CFC saying Kerr hat-trick. I mean, imagine the scenes. I can see the backflip already. I would love to see that. I mean, Kirby and Kerr, what a dynamic duo they have been this season. Expecting huge things from them today. I'm very, very happy with that team news. Keep your opinions coming. You can find us at Chelsea FCW. I'll be reading your tweets out throughout the show. And back to you now, Gigi.
Abby, thank you very much. And Laura, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. We are jealous of the sunshine and the warmth that you're basking in at the moment. And I hope you enjoy this evening's final.
Yeah, keeping my fingers crossed.
Keeping everything crossed. I think there's sweaty palms, there's fingers being crossed. But Laura, thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure. It's nice to hear from people who have worked with them, who've seen this team grow, because again, people have been watching this. I mean, you came in the really, really early days before Emma Hayes. Is Chelsea unrecognisable now from when you were here?
Yeah, I think they've definitely progressed a lot, and there's been a lot of learning that's taken place along the way. And I think Emma is always a great person in terms of evolving, you know, in terms of her recruitment, getting the right fits for the team, and you know, developing the principles of her play, which has made them a relentless side to meet. And now they're at a final. They've exemplified that throughout their season performances.
And something else that I remember Sam Kerr said, it was about trusting in your teammates, trusting in the people around you, and that it was so important not just to have the confidence and the belief, but to trust the people you're with.
Absolutely, and players, you want to feel that. I think when you have that trust, it naturally allows you to develop your confidence, and obviously when you're confident, you perform much better and you perform at your best. You can really fulfill your potential, and it's all about making an environment that is conducive to that, and I think that's what Emma is brilliant at doing.
Yeah, she certainly is. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock UK time. It is Chelsea against Barcelona in the Women's Champions League final. And lucky enough to be there in Gothenburg for us this evening is Lee Parker. Lee.
A very good evening, Gigi. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Gamla Alevi Stadium here in Gothenburg, where I'm delighted to say the sun is out for the first time in, I think, 48 hours since we landed, but the weather certainly hasn't dampened the spirits. I've got Emma Hayes just over my left shoulder. She's currently speaking to Claire Balding and the BT crew. She has been so relaxed along with the rest of the squad. The players, in fact, were outside getting a feel for the pitch just a few minutes ago. They trained out here yesterday evening as well in the rain, but that didn't affect things because it's a very slick surface. Had the chance to catch up with Pernilla Harder and a couple of the other girls over dinner, and they said, you know what, it's a good surface. It was cutting up a little bit, but they certainly didn't seem to mind that. Very relaxed, very focused. They were out together for a team walk, lots of smiles, very chilled, it has to be said, which is incredible considering this is the biggest game in their season, and certainly you'd imagine in Chelsea women's history as well. But I just heard Emma Hayes over my shoulder saying to Claire Balding, it's just another day in the office, and I think that pretty much sums up the mood at the moment. We have two very exciting teams going up against each other here today. Chelsea have scored 119 goals in all competitions. Barcelona 128 just in the league, but Chelsea come into this full of confidence, and rightly so. You know the team news, of course. It's the same side that beat Reading by 5-0 last week and beat Bayern so convincingly in that semi-final as well. So hopefully we are in for a good game, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave you with this. Abby, if you can hear me, I've got some good news for you. I found you a match day programme. I'll bring it home with me. Enjoy the game.
Okay, so the first thing is, Lee, where's my match day programme? But Abby, you have a match day. Anita and I have been left out, but you have a match day programme.
I absolutely do. I can't believe it. Thank you so much, Lee. The reaction is still coming in to the team news. Eric saying congratulations in advance. It's coming home. I am starting to feel positivity now because of all these fans getting so involved. Louise saying another underrated masterclass from G. As usual, the Kerr and Kirby link up also. And Harder, well, a show of genius. Absolutely. We're so lucky to have these world-class players in our squad and one of the best squad depths in the WSL, of course. This one is from Soon saying, wonderful team sheet. Please, we must give everything to win this game. I don't think Emma Hayes is going to settle for anything less than 110% today, and hopefully that will mean we get the victory that we need and we get our first Champions League trophy for Chelsea Women's. Back to you, Gigi.
Well, Abby, we're jealous because not only are you dry, but you have a programme, and Anita and I have no programme, and we're very wet. But it's Champions League final night, so we're going to put up with the rain that's falling down.
It's going to be worth it, we hope.
It's going to be worth it.
For sure.
When we're wet and soggy, but we're celebrating Chelsea winning this trophy because it's been part of this journey. When you join a football club, how important is it that they've got a plan? Because I think sometimes we think players, they go for money, or it's where they live, or it's near someone. How much is it about the journey and the plans that the club have?
It's super important. I think it's about the ambition of the club because most of the players will share in that ambition. You know, they want to be playing on the world stage, you know, in massive European competitions like tonight and actually displaying their talent for lots of people to be able to see and also to inspire. And that's what, you know, Chelsea has sort of shown they're all about in you know, number of years now. So, yeah, it's incredibly important in my opinion.
And it's about having the patience because we're talking about a 9-year journey. If it doesn't happen in the first year of the first season, it's the club having confidence in you. It's you being able to get your message across. And it's also the players believing in you that this is something that might take a little bit of time, but we will get there.
Yeah, patience is a key word in that. I think it's, like you say, the belief in that and following through a plan and trusting the manager and having faith in, you know, like they have shown in Emma, that she will also bring the best out of them as players.
We're seeing the rain falling. Now, this was yesterday, this was Saturday in Gothenburg when the squad, they got into the stadium, they got a chance to go through their paces as you'd expect. A very focused looking bunch of players there.
Yeah, you can see they're just, look at Pernilla Harder now, you know, absolutely just focused, eye on the prize, I think, going through routines that they've done a number of times, you know, domestically for their clubs and obviously national teams. And yeah, we're just excited for the kickoff to take off.
It's that mix of keeping it as normal is, and we know these routines, this is what we do, but also it's something a little bit different. So getting that back, you don't want to completely freak everybody out by saying, right, this is the Champions League final, it all comes down to this. It's getting that balance of this is something very special, but then again, we've done this before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just important that the players feel relaxed and, you know, they've been through this a million times playing in any game and performing at their best, and this is another important game and they'll be aware of that. But most of these players will see this kind of pressure as privilege as well, and that's important to see.
Yeah, because the quality of player that we are seeing there, that we are dealing with, as I say, they've done the biggest things in women's football on the biggest stages possible.
Definitely, and it's about controlling your emotions sometimes. Excitement is good, but you don't want to go overboard and it just bubble over. So having the balance of all of these feelings will allow them to just settle into the game early on and you know, feel their way as it goes on.
And the role of the experienced player to help out the less experienced player, maybe answer any questions or calm any nerves that they might have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think experienced players, you know, they've been through this a number of times and they will know all the kind of scenarios that you might face in a game as well and how to manage that best. And once they get into the kickoff, I think managing moments of momentum swing, transition, things like that are important to settle the team, or when you have it, to keep driving it forward.
How did you sleep the night before the first leg of the final with Arsenal in 2007?
You know, to be honest, I don't know if I got much sleep, but...
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding. I think it's a combination of excitement, you know, but you know that you have to make sure you're mentally and physically prepared, and getting a good night's sleep the night before is incredibly important going into a massive game.
And to highlight that nerves are a good thing. They don't have to be viewed as a negative if you're nervous.
No, I mean, for me, nerves just shows that you really care about something, and it means something to you. It's important, and you want to perform well, and that's when you get that, you know, the tingling in your stomach and all of that. So it's a good thing as long as you can control it and you can manage it well.
Exactly, it's about controlling it and managing it. Now let's spend a little bit of time talking about Chelsea's opponents this evening, Barcelona, who've also been out on the pitch. They've been taking a look at how things are. They're actually looking very relaxed there. Now, we mentioned this earlier, but they wrapped up their league with 8 games to spare last week, and boy, have they been scoring for fun at times. I mean, nearly 170 goals all season with a plus 127 goal difference in the league.
It's a pretty
frightening.
Yeah, it's incredible stats that they've racked up this season, and we know they're a very good side. Chelsea know that too, and they'll be prepared for that challenge. You can see there's a dynamism within their attacking players as well, and a lot of those players that have played together on national team, but they also rested players going into this game, so you know that can either work favourably for you or against you.
And it's not their first Champions League final. They lost 4-1 to Lyon a couple of years ago. Luis Cortés is the man in charge. And these are the 11 players that Cortés has gone with this evening. And it's a little bit like Chelsea. It's a who's who. But I want to talk about Lieke Martens because she is a player that you know well.
Yeah, you know, I had the privilege of playing with Lieke back in Sweden, and as we know, she's a very dynamic forward player, likes to drive inside, outside of players, deliver, you know, crosses for others, and score some fantastic goals as well. And she's shown that for Barca this season, so she is one to watch and, you know, maybe stop.
Yes, we definitely want to stop her. Alexia Putellas, now that's good news for Barcelona because she was a doubt coming into the match, so the fact that she is fit. And Jennifer Hermoso, I mean, goal scoring for fun, Hermoso. But you look through and they've been able to call, they had 1 suspension in their defence, but aside from that, and you talked about resting players in the last league game, but you have a talented bunch of players. You have a spine of Spanish players within the Barcelona side, but again, they bring that experience to this final.
Yeah, absolutely. And the players you mentioned, like Alexia Hermoso, you know, they are Barca fans as well, so it's just as important a fixture for them. And, you know, like you said, there's a core of Spanish players that play the Barca way, have grown up with it, and will want to display that tonight.
Yeah, a number of them coming through the famous Barcelona Academy. Cannot wait for tonight's match. Chelsea against Barcelona, the Women's Champions League final, kick-off at 8 p.m. UK time. Now, we've talked a lot about her. We've talked a lot about her 9-year plan. Now let's hear from Chelsea Women's Commander-in-Chief, Emma Hayes, when she sat down and spoke to the press pre-match.
Well, of course, we're all disappointed that our friends, our family, the fans can't be here. But the realities are we are used to that. And the realities are, you know, we are 1 game away from becoming champions of Europe. And I wouldn't want to be in another dressing room. It's a group of fantastic women that have led from the front, not just this season, but throughout my time here. And there's a lot of experience on both sides tomorrow going into the game. And I think my opinion is the best 2 teams in Europe are in the final. And I'm sure it will make a wonderful spectacle for the fans at home. You know, I've coached a lot of top games, so when you work hard in a project like Chelsea, where the journey of getting to this point is the part of the job I love the most, you know, that includes the setbacks, that includes the disappointments, that includes signing new players, that includes winning and losing new things. So when I talk about it being a dream, for me, being in this dressing room with, as I've said, they're amazing women that are inspiring generations, I hope, at home. And in fact, I know they are. And I'm not talking about little girls here. I'm talking about scores of boys too that are becoming big fans of women's football. So the dream for me is about what I've always wanted for women's football. And being in this final after so many years with an English team not participating, I think it was about time. And I'm just delighted that we got the opportunity to do that.
Well, we know that Barcelona has a great team, and for me it's even not so much about the individuals for them. I think they are a good team on all fronts, and we just have to be ready. We have to be on it, defend like we've defended all year. We've been having a very good defensive record in our league, so I'm confident that we will do everything we can to stop them, and also confident that we have players who can hurt them. We have so many experienced players who've been in big games on different occasions, if it's a Euros final, if it's a World Cup final, all of those kind of games, Olympic final. So we have experience of playing in finals, and I think that is the most important experience, because it's a one-off game. You have to be ready, you have to step up on that day. So I think we have an experienced team who knows what it takes to win finals. It's been a great journey since I joined the team. Gradually, every year, things have gone better on all fronts, really. The squad has improved, our facilities have improved, the league has improved, my personal qualities have improved. So I feel like I've personally also grown with the team. So it's been a fantastic journey to be on, and the fact that we are here today is the proof of what we have done and how hard we have worked. And I mean, Emma knows they've worked even harder before I arrived. So this journey has been a long journey, and the fact that we're here today feels amazing, and I kind of feel like we are also here to stay.
I've read an article recently where Emma Hayes said she always believed it was her calling to do what she's doing now. She always believed this is what she should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. I think it's a great quality to have, and you can see that, you know, she's put all these components in place over the years, and this 9-year project to get to where they are now shows just that she believes that this is what she should be doing, and she wants to make a difference to top quality players and also allow them to fulfill their collective dream.
And I read, it was probably in the article about her seeing the psychic who said she'd have the most success with Chelsea, but she was at the London Olympics in 2012 alongside her dad, who she says is her biggest influence. He's her driving force. And she said she was unemployed at the time. And then she said, I've coached about 40 of those players out there while watching the women's football competition. And her dad said, well, get back into it. You need to be doing this again. And that's what then took her forward and took her into the Chelsea job.
I mean, that's what you need, you know, supportive family members that know you, you know, and obviously with that story, it's a great story, like her father having that influence in her life and in her career and getting her back into it. And I'm definitely one of those players that benefited from her as a coach and impacting my playing career positively.
So what kind of a role did she have at Arsenal? Because she was assistant coach to Vic Akers, but what was her influence like at the time? Was she more in the background? Was she quite in the forefront?
No, Emma was definitely in the forefront. You know, she was a young, enthusiastic coach, and she did a lot of our coaching sessions and impacted, you know, how we saw the game and how we played as a team and how we got the best out of each other as individual players, but collectively as a team.
Was she the same Emma you would say as she is now when she was at Arsenal?
I think she's even more of a tough coach now, because she just knows what it takes to reach those milestones at the top level of the game and what you need to put in place. And she's instilled that in terms of the quality of the players, but definitely within the support of the club that you have at Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. And Abby, I know that on social media there is an awful lot of chatter, an awful lot of praise when it comes to Emma Hayes.
Emma Hayes, of course, our leader, our absolute favourite manager. Lots of love coming in for her and the team in general. I absolutely love this from Cass. Win, babies, my mood depends on you. No pressure or anything. And Sareem saying, pride of London, let's go. Also, lots of love as well coming in for Ann-Katrin Berger. I mean, what an incredible keeper she is. I feel like if you search her name in Google, you would see a brick wall, because nothing gets past her easily. Ragba saying, please win. I know Kerr, Kirby, Harder and G won't let me down. Kerr hat-trick loading. A lot of people thinking Kerr's going to score big tonight. I mean, I'd love to see it. KD saying, come on, girls, you've worked hard and built for this for years. Let's win it. I mean, as we've been discussing, you know, Emma Hayes has been working up to this point in her career for 9 years, so it would be amazing to see it. Charles, seeing the team lineup, just says, what? That lineup. I mean, yeah, we're not messing around tonight. You can't be when you're playing against Barcelona. This one from Wong General. Congratulations on winning your first Champions League. Apparently we've already done it. See, that's the energy we need going into this game, that fighting mentality. Emma Hayes saying she's making our women's side have a monster mentality. Let's hope they're going in with that same energy tonight. Nathan wishing good luck to to Sophie Ingle and Robert as well, saying, come on, ladies, this time should be our time. Gigi, what do you think?
Thank you, Abby. In Emma, we certainly trust, absolutely. Now, you might have noticed that our numbers have swelled. Very cleverly, Gemma Davison, former Chelsea player, missed the rain, and for very good reasons. So why the delay, Gemma?
Unfortunately, we went to extra time in our game today, but we've got a win, and over here tonight we're the biggest game.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, and thank you very much for making it over here. How are you feeling about this final? We've heard of sweaty palms from Claire Rafferty. Anita's kind of excited, but just a little bit. How are you feeling?
Really excited. Really proud of the girls. It's been a long journey, but they thoroughly deserve to be here, and I'm nervous, but I'm confident.
That's something we've been talking about, isn't it? And he said this journey, this build-up, it's not something that's happened overnight. Emma Hayes has been planning this. You were a big chunk of this time, of this 9-year journey. It's always been the plan.
It's always been the plan and ambition, and I think the environment, and Nita will obviously agree with me, is it's always been the ambition, and to be a part of the journey has been fantastic, and to see it happen now, I just hope they bring the trophy back.
Yeah, I think that's what we're all hoping for at the end of this evening. Mentality monsters, that is what Emma Hayes' squad has been described as, and I think it sums them up perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it takes, isn't it? To be hungry, to be determined, to have that belief. And they've shown that, like I've said, all season long. They're going to need that more than ever tonight, because this will be one of their biggest tests. And like Gemma attested to, we are so proud of those players because we know them, very well as ex-teammates. And it's been a journey, and they've made it. So, and we believe that they can do it.
Have either of you spoken to any of them in the build-up to this, ahead of this final?
I've had a few messages back and forth, just, obviously wishing them luck and telling them, they should have all the belief and go for it, basically.
And you feel that they've got that belief because they believe in each other, they trust in each other, they trust in what Emma Hayes is trying to do, and they're still on course for the quadruple?
They are. I think they've been fantastic all season, consistent. I've spoken to a few of the girls today, and they feel good, they're ready. And they know that everyone's behind them, but I think they're just focusing on the game right now, and I think we all know that they can bring the trophy back.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's been many good points, but there's been tough times as well that they've had to navigate, and they did. The first one that comes to mind is Atletico. Couple of penalty saves in the first leg, everything going on. But once again, Anita, they were able to stand up, they were able to be together, get together, and get the job done and overcome adversity.
Yeah, and resilience. You talk about nothing goes perfectly in a game of football, and sometimes you're going to face challenges like that, but it's about how you react and you respond. And they proved that they could do it against a top Spanish side, that have gone toe-to-toe with Barcelona as well. So Chelsea know they've got that in their locker. Plan A, plan B, they can fall on that and still get a great result.
Exactly, and Gemma, and then there was Wolfsburg, kept falling to Wolfsburg over the years, and then along came Bayern, and they said, OK, we'll just get the job done against Bayern Munich as well.
That was an unbelievable climax to the game. Just watching it now, I was cheering at home. I was so happy. I was on my phone after. I was so proud of everything that happened. But they showed great resilience, great character to come back time and time again. But that's been evolving over the years. And just watching this goal now, Fran Kirby, unbelievable.
Recently was awarded the Football Writers' Player of the Year for a second time in her, Fran Kirby. She's had to come through adversity of her own when she was ill. She's talked about Emma Hayes being her rock and everyone having that belief in her. And Gemma, to see her back here doing what she is doing now is incredible.
She's been unbelievable. She's had a lot of setbacks. I think we all know that, and she's worked so hard, especially over a world pandemic as well, and behind the scenes working hard, and it's really paying off for her now. And I think it's about time everyone's seen what she's got. Yeah, she's been fantastic. I think she's going to be a massive player to watch in this game.
And this partnership with Sam Kerr. I mean, how much have we talked about Sam Kerr this evening? And right, so I mean, Nita and I spent about 20 minutes talking about Sam Kerr and how annoying she is to defend. For one thing, we had Laura Bassett saying, well, she just hacked her down. Because that's the only way she could deal with Sam Kerr, just get her on the floor and then apologise to her afterwards. But that's got to be the truth. A bit like at the back, if you get a central defensive pairing, it's almost like your soulmate on the field. And you feel a little bit like that with Kirby and Kerr.
Of course, it's like you're attached at the hip, and it's part of your body and you need them with you at every moment. And I think they just have that understanding. Like I said, it's like telepathy, that where they're going to be, and that connection, that's important, and it brings everyone else into play as well.
How do you keep that level high, Gemma, when you're winning and you're winning and you're winning, and you win the league 5-0 and you celebrate that? Is it hard to again keep that level raised?
I have to say no, it's not. You know, every footballer, from grassroots all the way up, I think everyone's the most happy when they're winning. I think you have to keep your levels high, but if you have the desire to win, and you're not happy unless you're winning and you're holding a standard. And I know Emma Hayes has spoken about she treats every game like a final, like a Champions League final, and that's the kind of mentality that is, you know, really proving it at the moment with Chelsea Football Club and what she's doing.
When you were here, did you feel it growing? Did you feel it starting to come together? Because it did feel, if there was a setback, say it was Wolfsburg in the Champions League, that the club and the squad would learn, they would add to the squad, they would develop, and they would go one better the next season.
Yeah, I think when I joined, the expectations were high anyway, which is exactly why I signed in the first place. I knew where she wanted to get to. I knew she knew me. I played an unbelievable team, you know, really proud of the girls, seeing them get there now. It's just evolved every year, and it's amazing to see it evolve every single year. They're getting better and better. The partnerships all over the pitch. You're talking about Fran Kirby and Kerr, but there's, you know, Millie Bright, Magna Eriksson at the back. They're fantastic, you know, at the back. They're really playing against them. I'm sure Neitz will agree. It's really hard to, you know, to beat a back line like that at the moment. So it's evolved every year.
And we talked about how important the back line will be this evening because of what Barcelona have been doing in their league.
Absolutely, and I think, like Gemma's just said, the partnership has been so strong throughout the season, and all of our teams, you know, it's been tough to meet them and go up against them, but it's important because you have that leadership running through the team, and it just allows those attacking players, like I said, to attack with confidence, knowing they've got that support behind them. From the goalkeeper through to the back four.
And I asked Anita this earlier, and I think you may have answered it in your last answer, but when you signed for Chelsea, was the ambition, the drive, Emma Hayes, were they all very important factors for you joining them? Did you need to see an ambition and a journey that the club were going on?
I think I've known Emma Hayes for a long time, previously to Chelsea anyway. I know where she wanted to get to. Neitz will know this as well. We've been on a similar journey together. She's just always wanted to win everything. She's so ambitious. She wants to get to the top, and she's been working hard, you know, for this for a long time, and it's well deserved. She's been fantastic. She's recruited really well, and I hope for her that she does it tonight.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Now, you've just joined us, Gemma. It might be worth showing you the Chelsea team that's starting this evening, so you can just run your eyes through what Emma Hayes and who Emma Hayes has gone with, and probably no surprise that it is the same 11 that started in the second leg against Bayern Munich. I mean, it's the why would you change a winning formula? But she has the strength and depth that she could, but she has stuck with the 11.
Just looking at the lineup now, that's a scary front line, I've got to say, and with G in there, feeding Fran and Sam Kerr and Pernille Harder, it's a very scary front line to play against, so definitely wouldn't change it. It's pretty solid.
I mean, it's scary everywhere, isn't it?
Pretty much, but you know, like I said before, it's important to have that robustness in the defensive lineup too. Having Jess Carter in there, you know, shows that they have thought about Barca's attacking threats as well, and like we say with Pernille and her experience, Ji So-yun, we know, always steps up in big games, so it's going to be enthralling.
And we should say that Ann-Katrin Berger won the Golden Glove in the league together with Sam Kerr getting the Golden Boot, highlighting that Chelsea are just as good at the back as they are at the front.
She's been phenomenal. Again, playing against her this year, she's so hard to beat, but I think she's proved a lot in the Champions League this year, some match-winning saves, and I think we'll see more of that tonight. But she's been a leader, distribution-wise, she's fantastic, and it's going to take a lot for Barcelona to definitely put the ball in the back of the net tonight.
Certainly is. I think we're getting less sweaty palms and we're getting more excitement as we get closer to kick-off. Let's find out if the people out in the wide world of social media, Abby, are feeling the same.
Yes, the excitement levels are definitely building as we move towards kick-off. Neil Daniel says, Line of Duty might have ended, but Sunday night viewing has just got good again. Tonight is definitely going to be an amazing game. Justice Josie saying, our hearts were broken yesterday, but the women can still mend it. Go on, the girls. I think that's the thing after the disappointing result last night in the FA Cup final. It feels like everybody is even more behind the women's team than they were before. This one from Nick Bradley Sutton saying, are we going to see the flip today? Well, if there's a Sam Kerr goal, I would expect nothing less. This one from Rijal. Come on, Blues, win that Champions League. Give us energy for the men's team. This one is from Necro Ravenclaw. Charles starts. Perfect lineup. Bring it home, girls. Hopefully, Sophie would like to see Guderiton off the bench in the second half. That's the thing, isn't it? The way our squad is at the moment, there's so much quality on the bench. You've got Cuthbert, you've got Beth England as well. Sport News Roundup saying they're predicting a 2-0 win with goals from Harder and Kerr. So keep your score predictions coming in and anything that you'd like to say about the match, and we're going to be checking it out throughout the show. Back to you now though, Gigi.
Abby, thank you very much. I think you might have a rival for your social media job, because Gemma was just telling us about some videos of the Chelsea players you've been watching singing. Is that right?
I have. On my journey here, I did have a quick look at Instagram, girls, and your singing skills are unbelievable. But you can definitely see they're Chelsea through and through, can't you?
Oh, I love that. If you do want to get in touch with us, don't forget Abby's with us throughout the whole of the evening, and we are back with you at half-time. We are getting closer to kick-off. Give us another feel now, Anita. You're getting ready to come out. The final's nearly upon you. It's 2007. You're with your teammates. How are you feeling now?
Just like, get me out there. And the girls will be feeling that too. They just, they've done all the prep, they're ready, they've warmed up, they've taken in the stadium, and they just want to get out there and show us what we all know they're capable of.
How do you think this match is going to play out, at least to start with? We talked about the strengths of Chelsea, which you can kind of put on a par with the strengths of Barcelona. So they do both go at it from the start. Is it a little bit cagey? How does this begin?
I think it'll take a good 10 minutes to kind of get used to what's going on. I just don't know. It's such a big game. I just think if Chelsea can just get steady, start the first 10 minutes nice and confident, and build into the game, I think they'll be, nice and comfortable.
Because we've talked about nerves. Anita was spot on when she said we need to have them, but you've got to manage them, because you're only human. It's a good thing to have nerves. It's not necessarily a negative.
I think it's brilliant. I saw something else, Magda Eriksson interview. You've got a lot of players in there that have played in World Cup finals, Euros finals, Olympic finals, and the girls have been in similar situations, playing Wolfsburg, big teams before, and I think they'll manage themselves really well.
OK, so this might be the most important question of the whole show. We've said that the sweaty palms have disappeared. The excitement is building. We've heard from people on social media. The players are getting ready. Your prediction, Gemma, I know you've only just arrived. I'm just throwing this at you. You've settled in. How do you see, are we going to have extra time? Is it going to be done in the 90 minutes? Who's going to be raising the trophy?
I think it'll be Chelsea.
Yeah?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea.
Ooh. Anita.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with Gemma. I think it's going to go to extra time and a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Who wouldn't want to see quality football played out over plus 90 minutes?
We could see even more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's okay. As long as it's a Chelsea win and they get the job done. Gemma, well, thank you for making it here. We're going to be back at half-time. You guys are going to be in the commentary box as well. So Anita and Gemma, thank you very much for now. And don't forget, Abby, keep the social media posts coming in, because Abby is going to be all over it. We will be back at half-time looking at highlights of the first half and then getting ready for that second and what might be the final 45 minutes. But to get you ready, just to build you up, if you're coming into this and you can't quite remember what happened or who they beat, or why is it they're lining up against Barcelona in Gothenburg this evening for the Women's Champions League final, we're going to leave you for now with Chelsea's road to the final. Bye for now.
Every coach will tell you the game that you lose, like that one, that stays with you, because you don't want to be in the position again.
We've had our hands on a lot of silverware, but there's one particular missing that we haven't quite got our hands on.
The Champions League is the biggest thing.
Our overall aim, and it has been for the last few years, is Champions League. That's the main one. This club wants to win and we all want to win.
I'm going to Chelsea because I believe that we can win the Champions League. Chelsea with a minute played, and it's Fran Kirby, record breaker.
Taking an early lead was good. Thought it took us a little bit of time to build a bit of momentum into the game. You know, pleased to get our Champions League campaign going again.
What a pass from Guro Reiter for Sam Kerr, who pays it the compliments it deserved.
Ingles being caught out here by Adibadi, goes down, it's a penalty. And what colour's the card? What colour's the card? It's red. Castellanos from 12 yards. Saved by Ann-Katrin Berger and hacked out by Millie Bright. That could be a huge moment. Here's Sam Kerr. No one for company except for Atletico defenders. What sort of challenge is that? Penalty to Chelsea. Mara Mjelde. Big moment. Brilliant penalty. Here is Kirby again. It's in this time.
I was there the first season that we started off in this competition, and how we've grown as a team, and yeah, everyone gave everything today. There was bodies on the line, you know, everyone giving everything.
Well, that's awkward. Oh, what's Berger doing? That's got to be a penalty. First mistake of the night. And Berger saved another one. And it's cleared by Cuthbert.
I thought the leadership across the spine of the team, I thought the whole team performance was one I'm extremely proud of. Especially losing a player and having to defend a penalty immediately. You know, Anne is amazing at that, and to do it twice is an unbelievable achievement. But I think collectively, you know, what we did, the discipline we had in the performance, I'm a happy coach.
The most important thing was to go through to the next round, and we did. Of course, it's always nice to contribute with a goal, and it happened again.
Are we in the position I wanted us to be? Are we facing the team I wanted us to face? Yes and yes.
It's behind Bullard, but buried brilliantly, and that'll do it.
We've been beaten 8 times by this team.
There's a deflection, then 2, and there's the 3rd goal.
It's exciting to play a team that you played before.
We're ready for it.
This time we're stronger. We're more experienced.
We've learned from the past.
This time is our time.
She did well to control that, moved it on to Kirby too. She's helped it on one more for Sam Kerr. Round the goalkeeper, oh, she squeezed it in! It's brilliant from Kerr. It looked as though it was an impossible angle, but she managed to find the net, and Chelsea have got a big, big goal in the quarter-final. That's an awful clearance, and Kirby's pounced on it. And Kerr's moved it on, and Harder's made it too! Pernilla Harder against her old club.
I'm so disappointed to give away the goal at the time we did. We were about to make some tactical adjustments, and I didn't get the chance to do it, so that's disappointing. But we're in the tie, and that was our objective tonight, to make sure we remained in the tie.
I think it's going to be very tight, but I think we have a really good chance of going through this time.
Yes, we're winning the game at the halfway point, but they have the experience of being in this position, so I expect the game and the challenges they throw at us will be even bigger than they were the first leg.
Harder to Kerr, down she goes, big decision to make here, penalty! Well, it took a while, the decision to come, but this is a huge moment. Pernilla Harder is the X factor again. Goal in the first leg last week, and the opener here, away goal for Chelsea. Sophie Ingle. Sam Kerr, she's held that up well, she scored! scored one. And it's dreamland, because it's 2-0, and what a huge 5 minutes we've seen.
We've had to lose 8 times in the past to that team, so I know how it feels. So to make the progress we've made and showing the investment the club's made in all of us is, I think, probably the biggest win in Chelsea's history. I'm really happy to win, but it's not enough. I want to win this tournament. Okay, this is it, so well done everybody.
We've been close before, and we know how it hurts when we don't make it, to that final. And I think now we need to go in there with a strong mentality, not focus on the fact that we've lost previous semi-finals. Go in there fresh and clear and ready to go.
It's a good-looking cross. Well, Berger didn't get there. Lohmann did, and Millie Bright on the line couldn't keep it out. Advantage Bayern.
We have to focus on the positives. I think it's too easy in a game like this to reflect on things that didn't go so well, and I won't do that until I've watched it back. For now, we have the away goal. It's half-time. Now we've got to bring them to Kings Meadow, and we've got to pose a much different problem to them.
England, now it's G. Oh, wonderful effort. Did it cross the line? England on the follow-up, no.
Yes, Bayern are excited by their result today, but trust me, I will make sure the team puts in the performance of their life next week.
As a squad, we've always had a strong mentality. We've always wanted to go on and push to the final, and we've always wanted to be successful.
I think we know what we have to do. It's just the players have to deliver the performance that's required.
The goal was always to be the best team in Europe, and we're nearly there.
I think the mentality is to go and win the game on Sunday and put in the performance of our season.
I think the realities are we're losing the game and we have to score a goal. I think the important message I'll give to my team is just play a game.
Sam Kerr. Kirby's continued to run. Can she work it to her? She has. Great first touch, and Kirby scores! Chelsea strike first. Fran Kirby. Just 10 minutes on the clock. It's that familiar combination again.
As far as I'm concerned, forget the last 9 years. I want to make sure that when the moments get difficult in the Bayern Munich game, and they will come, is that we are better.
By Kirby, as far as Zadrazil. Oh, what a goal! That is a stunner from Sara Zadrazil. Advantage Bayern.
Not losing is something that can drive you on in performance, and I think even when we had our backs against the wall, the team did not want to lose.
She's free kick straight into the wall. She'll have a go again. It's crept in. She's so young, just before half-time. And now we're all square at 3-3 on aggregate. Arthur's free kick, and it's header! Chelsea score! And is that the goal that sends the Blues to Gothenburg?
I knew the goalie wasn't there. So I think if you watch it back, you can see me actually screaming, and the ball's just not coming yet. I'm screaming, and then yeah.
Kirby, and there's no goalkeeper. Kirby has done it, and there is no doubt now.
The ball got played over and panicked a little bit because I didn't know how far to run with it before trying to put it in, but yeah, and then I obviously put it in and it was great.
Chelsea are going to the Champions League final.
I'm proud of the whole team, the way we have so much energy and work we put in it to come to this final. And like I said, to be down in a game and then turn it and go into a game, just really believe in it. It just says everything about all the characters you have in the team.
Whoever we were going to draw in the final is a massive game, and to go to Sweden, I think everyone's fully deserved of getting there really. I think we've put in the hard work over the last few years, and we've built year upon year, and this year was our main aim to get there, and we've finally done it today.
I looked across the halfway line and I said, go 1v1, Fran. And then all of a sudden I didn't see a goalkeeper in the goal, and I thought, I'm going to have the best glass of champagne tonight. I grew up dreaming of these moments. Like, I've been an assistant in this position, but to be the manager, to lead my team out, is such a proud day for English football and for Chelsea Football Club. And I just want to say a big thank you to our owner and the board for the support they've shown me in my 9 years, because they've backed me the whole way, and I hope that I've delivered a result and the performances again that they can be proud of.